Hey folks, thought I'd do a review of my journal entries on a practice trade I took on the Nasdaq. I took this practice trade, of course, on Ostium. And while I took this trade, you can see I have practice entry short on dollar yen, so don't worry about that. And if you've been following ICT's YouTube channel, you'd know that he's an advocate of journaling and he's mentioned it a lot. And I used to think that he meant writing down, what went down in your trades, like in like a diary. But it wasn't until he provided an example I realized what he meant was taking a screenshot and saving it for review later of basically a trade recap with your annotations on the chart, but more importantly, in your own words, a description of what was going down. So for context, today is Tuesday, June 10th, 2025, and I took this practice trade yesterday on Monday. So let me just read to you what I wrote. Monday, June 9th, 25, practice trade on Nasdaq via automatic executions in my software development kit. Side note here, this is a kind of like an order manager I built from the Ostium software development kit GitHub. You can check it out. You don't need this. All it really does is it automatically enters long or short for me with the trading session I specify. And for me in my trading model, I have it set to enter for me with my specified collateral at the price that I set or better. So in this case, I was looking for entries long 21,834 or better, targeting 21,971.73. And it'll enter as long as I have collateral and as long as it's within the session I've specified. It'll enter for me. It'll try to enter once every 15-minute candle because I execute off of a 15-minute chart. So you could do that manually yourself if you wanted to. Anyway, this was, of course, during the New York PM session. The S&P 500, I noted, had already taken its previous week's high, so I'm expecting Nasdaq to do the same. Both of these indices are bullish based on the net 12-month commitment of traders position, commercial position, although not as much as it was last month. The crypto majors, Bitcoin and Ethereum, are more bullish based on commitment of traders this week, and both asset classes have been moving in tandem this quarter. So my expectation is for crypto to be the upside leader and bring indices up with them. All right. So, oh, and by the way, I mentioned the New York PM session. Let's just quickly go over the sessions here. This light red section spans 8 to midnight Eastern. That's the Asia session, and that's what I have delineated here. Midnight open, that little white dotted line, 1 to 5 a.m. This light purple section, that's the London open, and then 7 to noon, that's the whole New York AM session. So this goes 7 to 9:30, and then this blue section is 9:30 to 10. The 9:30 open, and then 10 to noon overlaps with the end of the New York AM session. So that's the 10 to noon, London close, and then there's noon to 1 lunchtime, and then finally the New York PM session spans 1 to 4 p.m., which in this screenshot it's only going a little past 2, but you get the idea. So in total, what you don't see here is over the course of the PM sesh, I get 5 pyramid entries long on Nasdaq. And then you can see here in the Asia session yesterday, what I've done here is I placed a partial target in between my entry and the actual target, which is at 21,897.31. And so I had 3 of the 5. There's 2 Nasdaq longs remaining here. 3 of the 5 got taken off here, and previous slide you can see my stop was at the low of the day, and I moved it up just a little bit. And then as we progress in the Asia session, we get pretty close to target, but we ultimately fall short. We do form a new 60-day high. We've of course taken that previous week's high, that's where I set my partial. And at this point, I've moved my stop in between my entry and the partial target, and so I'm pretty much done for the evening. And you can see we still have those 2 out of the 5 total pyramid entries still on here. And then this looks like a lot has happened, but let me just go back for you. Again, this light red is the Asia session. So here the Asia session has ended at midnight, and this is the start of June 10th today. And then during the London Open, price declines pretty rapidly to take out the low, the swing low that we had at the right around the 4 p.m. close yesterday. So this, of course, as you can see, it hit my stop, which ends up lining up with PDH. That's the previous day's high before 8 p.m. And yeah, so I got stopped out in profit. If I didn't have my stop up here, price would have gone down here, and I would have been at a loss as of today. So just a quick recap. So yeah, ICT considers these to be journal entries. So when I go back, and I have these in a folder, once in a while I'll review them. What really helps to remember the context is having your own description. The more detailed you can be, the better it is, and really conditions. I think it helps you get better. And so to sum it up, here are the 5 entries and then the 5 exits. Super small trade, no more than it's about 1% or less of a gain, but it's okay. It's just practice. Damn, I just noticed the collateral value that's an evil number. I need to adjust my collateral. Looks super sus. But anyway, thanks for checking in, folks. Till the next one.